when I sliced it, because of that big chunk in the middle, you can see this one, you could actually go up and down, and these are actually little small pieces minced in between. Move around. So what I did was here is I switched my knives. I got these from my best friend's daughter who was selling these, or niece. Yeah, those expensive knives, but they do work good. So I did switch it because these keep it from sticking to it. I kind of switch it. All depends on how thick you like it. So in this case, I didn't want them. I made it kind of thin. All depends on how you cut them. You could do them in little cubes, or these might be a little bit too thin, so I'll just do another one. Boom. See, then you could just kind of. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you take the chicken leg, pull that flat back. I won't be nasty. And then you want to make sure you scrape this thing. And all I do is I take it and I pull the skin in that bowl that you kept for your leftover veggie scraps, and you just reuse that. It just makes your cleanup easier. But you want to make sure too, like I sit there and I make sure I kind of like rub it off, and then I clean it. So clean your chicken. Chicken is important. I only use 3 of them. I don't eat meat, but I do like the flavor of it. And then I add in some chicken breast. Okay, so what I had is I only had 2 breasts. And what I do is I just take these breasts, obviously clean them. I like to get all the chicken and stuff done out the way, so you could just clean up after. And then I use scissors because it's easier. And this is from my household, so my hands are going to be on it. I get, you know. Okay, so yes, this is canola oil, not wine. Now, normally, I usually cook most stuff in olive oil. It's not going to kill you, but because I am making the chicken legs and it's going to take a little bit longer, I do like to actually start it so it doesn't burn as quick. So basically, I like to mix a blend of all cultures. So we got some Creole. And now if you don't like a lot of salt, you got to be careful with that. Normally, the parsley, I'm very generous with that. I usually like fresh, but I don't have any. It's the end of the season. It's winter time here. Sage, I don't go too crazy with it. Thyme, I'm generous, but definitely prefer to use, this is some fresh one. This is the last bit from my garden. Some crushed red peppers. Throw some paprika. Cayenne. We like heat in our household. Now I use fresh garlic, but tradition, you just always kind of throw it in here. I don't go too crazy with the rosemary because that is a little strong. Cumin, the same thing, pretty strong. So I don't go too much. Did I already do the Adobe?
No.
Okay, I think I did. That's another one with salt, so you want to be careful with that. Black pepper. I didn't do no Sazon, did I? No. So I put some more Puerto Rican food. Okay, so curry, I use both. See, I use my Indian and Jamaican. I mix them. But if I had more Jamaican, I would use that for this, but that's all I got. And I'm cooking this for my daughter. And I only sent her home with the regular one. Now this curry, because it's going to be majority curry flavor, I go really hard on that. Okay. Some of the Jamaican curry on there. Again, some, and then some turmeric. I don't go crazy with that, but I do like it. And then all these spices, you just want to make sure you get it in good. And see, and you want to pull back that skin. And you want to make sure you get it in there as well. Normally, what I don't like to do, I like to just do the two separate meats. I mean, do the meat separately, and it makes it a lot easier. Then you can really judge how much you put on each one. But as I'm cooking, I'll add not so much the salty stuff, but extra spices, definitely more curry, probably some more crushed peppers and regular peppers. But now I already preheated the oven. Yeah. I don't go crazy with grease. Okay. But, now I'm just putting that piece of meat in there, and I'm actually gonna take it out. So unfortunately, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this brown, and then after these brown on all sides, I'm gonna rotate them each side. And then once they brown on each side, I'm gonna throw in the cut up breast. Now this will cook too fast. This takes a lot longer, so I don't want to make sure that it's not overcooked. Okay, so this cooks for about 8 minutes, 8 or so minutes, and I had rotated all the sides. It's definitely not cooked all the way. And so what I'll do is I'm just going to brown these up a little bit, not much, not even brown, pretty much so just that little pink, like I'll probably just flip it and see it. Not that bad, but it only takes a couple. You can already see some of the white is starting to get a little, see that color. I just kind of like to make sure it hits the grease. If you end up putting too much grease in here, you want to make sure you kind of drain it out. You don't want too much grease in here. As you can see, it's not cooked all the way, but it is covered up. So what I like to do is just take my veggies. You can actually throw them in here, or you can season them. But for the sake of fastness, and to be able to judge how much seasoning, I spread it out and get an idea of how much I need. Again, the Creole does have sodium in it, so you might need to watch it. Curry. Very generous with the parsley. This is where if I had fresh thyme left, I nailed it off to my family. And then I'm going to throw in the Okay, so I put a cup of water in. And I think I'm actually gonna, this is what, maybe I'll put, maybe like a fourth. So that was like a cup and a fourth. Again, I added a lot of potatoes. And as this, I'm gonna throw in, this is some chicken broth. So I put about a cup and a fourth. Again, I had a lot of potatoes. And as this starts to cook down, I'm gonna throw in some string beans. I get the frozen string beans. Okay, so these are string beans. They're the thin ones. You get them from these are from Trader Joe's. All these, you want the thin ones. And then you just put the lid and continue to cook. Okay. This is definitely not the right color. It's not been quite an hour. And I'm going to actually turn it down a little bit because... So I'm actually quite generous. That might be a little bit too much. Nah, it's probably not. It's curry. The whole purpose is going to taste good. So you see how that's getting a little sticky? I'm going to end up adding more water to this. So originally we added 1 1/4. So you just kind of let it cook down. So you're going to want this stuff to like really cook down low. And I don't know how long. We'll find out how long this actually takes. I will throw in, this is some chicken bouillon because I have a feeling that's what it needs. I throw in some pepper. I actually really just throw in a lot of stuff as I go along. I won't go crazy because I do got a little salt, but I do think it needs a little Creole. And this will actually create its own broth. So now I'm going to let this continue to cook down. I put it on, the fire is lower, and I put the lid back on. Okay, so this actually has another cup in there. So I think we're up to like 3 cups and 1/4. Just gonna put a drizzle of olive oil. And you can tell, even though this is soft, I like it just to be falling off the bone, so a little bit longer. Okay, so I already preheated the oven to 400. And what I do is I will take some turmeric. This is about a tablespoon, so I will do 2 tablespoons roughly. And then I'm going to take some chicken bouillon and do roughly about 2. Actually, it's going to be enough flavor in there. But if you want just the rice by itself, then you would add a little bit more so you can have a little sodium to it. Now, what I like to do is, normally I got thyme, but actual thyme, not the thyme. Parsley works great, so just some type of herb. Cook it up. I add olive oil before the water and after the after. So what ends up happening is you get patches. Patches of curry, and you get like a, so you just want to kind of make sure that you just take your time and stir it all. So you want to add, I did 2 cups of rice, so you want to add a total of 2.5 cups of, I'm sorry, 4.5 cups of water. So I stirred it up pretty good. I add more olive oil. That helps with the sticking. And then maybe like, you should actually like, maybe like once or twice throughout while you're cooking it, just use a fork and fluff it up. I cover it, I cook it at 400 almost an hour. You know, just maybe check it, maybe like 35 minutes into it and see how it looks.